everybody, welcome back to Strasburg. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for returning. It means a lot to me. You guessed it, we're back at the lovely land of Strasburg, and so you might be noticing something is weird, specifically this, and how it wasn't in the other videos. So, let me explain. There's also some more weird stuff going on. There's that. The PBR texture problems are back. So how did all this happen? Very simple, and it also ties into why it's taken me a month to get an update out. So, about three-ish weeks ago, 4-ish weeks ago, I decided that I was going to download Trainz 2022. I ended up buying the premium pass for a year because my old subscription ran out, and so you could download Trainz 2022 for free along with a bunch of premium content. So I'm like, okay, that sounds like a good deal. So I did, and stupid me was thinking, oh, I could just transfer all my files from 2019 over to 2022 and everything work great. No. Transferring any files, even a simple route, over to 2022, or really any time you have to transfer from one Trainz version to another Trainz, is a giant pain in the ass, and I do not recommend that you do it unless you absolutely have to, or you so desperately need the new route that you're willing to spend countless amounts of hours transferring individual file folders over because they get corrupted. It is the biggest pain in my ass that I've dealt with Trainz, and that's saying a lot, seeing as how this isn't the only route that I've done heavy modifications to, but in all my years of playing Trainz, that is the most time-consuming thing that I've ever done. That has drained me to the point where I've just stopped playing for days on end because I'm just sick and tired of, transferring file after file after file after file. It's so mind-numbing, it's boring, and it's absolutely insane. But let's get into the little things that I've done. So it's mainly just fixing up the route. Alright, rephrased. Transferring the route over, finding all the individual files that didn't transfer over with it, replacing those individual files, and then searching up the other corrupted files, deleting the corrupted files, replacing the corrupted files. It's a pain. I do not wish it upon my worst enemies. But you'll notice like this, I kept some in here just for you guys. I do have another version that's already fixed with everything, but this was the sidewalk, obviously. Now it's got a weird green and white checkerboard pattern because it's lost its texture. Over here, this barn, this is reused in a lot of places on the route, so that's why there's a bunch of these. But it too has lost its texture file. So those are the big ones that I left in here. But you'll notice, you're looking here, the texture, PBR texture problems are back, which is weird because I had ironed all that stuff out in 2019, but for some reason when it transferred over, I guess it didn't like the scaling that it did and reset. Now it's all wonky again. But I did end up having to replace the asphalt here for the same reason, so that's why it's a darker version than this over here. I tried to tie it in a little bit, like they almost, had a new pave, but I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it is what it is. The route works now. That's really all I can say about it. But yeah, giant pain. Don't download 2022. If you have anything from 10 and above, it's not even worth it. The only case I will make is if you have 10 and you really have a thing for PBR textures, because they do, add something to the route. But if you're really far away, well, not even really far away, from here to here, that's all it takes for the PBR texture to lose its, cool effect. If you're way out here, you might as well just have a highly detailed 2D, texture. It's gonna look the exact same. You wouldn't know that that's 3D unless I, pointed it out that it was 3D. The only time it really pops is if you're sitting at a grade crossing and you're like, oh man, that's really cool. I can see all the gravel and stuff. That's it. And maybe another exception would be you're driving by a cornfield. You really have a really good eye and you're like, oh look, it's 3D. But from way up here, you're not going to see that. You're not going to see it at all. But anyway, that's my rant. The differences between 2022 and 2019, literally absolutely nothing. From what I've noticed, the only difference is new routes. A little bit of a difference in lighting, but really not that major. And Surveyor 2.0, which is in a beta phase, so unless you buy the whole $130, Trainz Plus membership for a year, you won't even know what Trainz Surveyor 2.0 is, because it doesn't come with the base game. So it honestly feels like they just said, you know what, it's been 2 years since, or 3 years since we've released Trainz, so let's just halt all the updates on Trainz 2019, and let's take everything that we have from whatever update they stopped at onward and just said, screw it, we're throwing it into Trainz 2022. That's what we're going to call it. And that's the best answer I could come up with, because it literally feels like they just said, money, we need money, so let's, new Trainz, people will buy it, they'll love it. Well, guess what, I fell for it, so shame on me, I suppose. But anyway, that's pretty much all I've done, is just fixing a bunch of stuff. But yeah, that's it. Nothing too crazy has gone on with the railroad. The only real thing that I've done is go through and try and fix most of the PBR textures out, and then painstakingly get the cars to work and stuff and whatnot. But if you don't believe me, I will exit out of the Strasburg. I'll load up a different route that I haven't touched at all, and I will show you exactly what I'm talking about. So the way I've always known to transfer files from any version of a game to another is just copy the source file folder into the other source file folder that you're looking to transfer to. But no, apparently that's not a thing. So there is a cap on how much you can transfer at a time, and if you exceed that cap, it starts missing files, corrupting other files, and then it just gets all wonky and it'll mess up a railroad like a lot. So let's load up the North Carolina Transportation Museum. This is an approach medium route. I guess it's more of a module, not really a route, because it's just the Spencer shops in North Carolina. But anyway, let's boot it up here and we'll show you what it looks like stock. So if I had transferred all the files that I had, and now I'm expecting, all the cars, the buildings, the engines, all that stuff to be there, this is what you would get as a result once we load in. That might take a bit because I think this is the first time I've loaded it up. But all right, let's find out what is transferred in, what has not transferred in. So all right, already right off the bat we have a house that doesn't have a skin to it. Looks like a good majority of the buildings are here. A lot of PBR texture issues. Let's see. Apparently the railroad tracks don't exist. That's a fun time. Yeah, at least the signal towers are there. Yeah, that's a thing. A lot more of this going on here. That's fun, I guess. Alright, moving on into the museum. This would be a yard here, and this would be the spur. And and this would be more spurs, and this would go into the roundhouse. I mean, hey, the roundhouse is here. That's a plus. You know, I would hope that that would be here. That's kind of the highlight of the whole thing. But none of the chains and anything that are here. Nothing. Oh, we do have chains in a spot. That's nice. Well, the be carefuls here. That's something. But sidewalks are screwed. Go figure. None of the tracks that are here. Here we got floating buildings. The shed over here isn't here. None of the tracks are here. Yeah, so this is what you can expect if you just take your files and copy paste them into the folder that is the source file for 2022 when you boot up. So if you mass transfer everything over, this is what you'll expect when you boot up the route. Now, a lot of you are thinking, oh, that's because you have to download all the assets, you know, the available for download on the DLS assets. I mean, yes, but I've also already done that, and all the assets that are available for download have been downloaded. The only files that are not there are unknown assets. Now, for Trainz, that means it's a third-party asset that hasn't been released on the DLS. But it doesn't know where the source of the file is, so it can't download it. That's why it says it's an unknown asset. The problem is, all those unknown assets are known assets on 2019, so you should technically be able to transfer all those files into Trainz 2022, and it should, you know, have all those files that it doesn't know where they are. So all those unknown assets should be, you know, JR track US 2, or, you know, shed, sidewalk. You know, it's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But this isn't the only route. It's literally any route that you go into, you're gonna have to download a bunch of things, and the worst part about it is you're gonna download it, and if you really have the patience, you're gonna, you know, sort by the dependencies and then find all the unknown dependencies and, you know, individually transfer them into the file, and then it'll magically pop up. But then you realize that, all right, for instance, let's say that I wanted to put the NW J1 611 right here, you know, because that's usually where she spends her time. So let's say I download the NW J1. That is one unknown asset in the list, and then you download it, and then all of a sudden you find out, oh, you don't. It says that you're missing dependencies for the NWJ class. You need the trailing truck, you need the drivers, you need the leading truck, and you need the cab interior view. So you download all those. So realistically, this is probably like, I don't know, probably a list of about 80 to 100 assets that are missing or corrupted. So you're going to download all those, and you have to do them individually. Like I said, you can't do them in mass, or otherwise it, you know, messes everything up again. So you have to individually go through and download 80 assets, which is going to take you a long time, assuming that you're good and you do 2 a minute, which is pretty fast to find it in the folder. That's still going to take you like 40 minutes at the least. And if you're really slow, it's going to take you 80 minutes. So like an hour and 20 minutes. And then once you download all those, you find out that each of those assets potentially has 3 more assets that you don't have installed. So it's a rabbit hole. So it's a pain. I do not recommend it. If you are like me and you have a ton of stuff on 2019 and you get allured into the idea that Trainz 2022 is better, let me stop you right there and say, don't do it. It's a waste of money and a huge waste of time. Don't do it. Stick with 2019. There's literally no difference between 2019 and 2022, other than if you are a content creator and you have $130 to spend on Trainz Plus and you really, really need Surveyor 2.0, do not buy 2022. I do not recommend it. There's not any differences other than, like I said, the payware. It's like they just said, screw it. We're just going to start a new Trainz and, we'll have other people buy all these, new things. But yeah, no, not worth it. Not at all. I don't recommend it. But anyway, so that's my rant. Moving forward, what am I going to be doing with the channel? What am I going to be doing? Trainz. So not really much planned for Trainz in the next week or two. I did just respond to a bunch of people that had left comments that I neglected to respond to. To the person that was asking for certain files related to K&L stuff. I cannot give you the car files. However, I can give you the files that I have created custom for the car. If they were still K&L files that were in a K&L car, I cannot give them to you because, well, obviously they're K&L's property, but because they are ones that I created from scratch, I can give those out to you. However, you cannot redistribute them just out of courtesy. It's stuff that I worked really hard on, so please don't redistribute them. You can use them for personal use. This goes for anybody. Specifically, I'm talking about the B&O car. I'm going to be putting 2 specific files on a Google Drive file, which will allow you to convert the Warren Brenner car, which is the Western Maryland coach on Strasburg, into the B&O lounge car, the Lynn Modinger car. The only thing that you're going to have to adjust with it is you're going to have to swap out the trucks from a 2-axle truck to a 3-axle truck. You can find them in various things, but the easiest thing is just the 6-axle truck that is on the Reading presidential car. That is roughly the same thing as what's on the B&O car, truck-wise. So if you're looking to be realistic with it, and you don't want to take a lot of time to search through the DLS for an exact one like I did, that will get you close enough. And it's K&L, so you don't have to fuss with any of the attachment points. So I will be putting those 2 files, specifically the window decal and the file that handles the Baltimore and Ohio Lynn Modinger, the number, like the 118, all that. That's all in one file. So it'll be the window file and then the Lynn Modinger file. So that will allow you guys to make your own B&O coach for the Strasburg. So that is my gift to you. It'll be free, no payware. But all right, moving on. So what will be going on with the channel? So I still plan on doing the Strasburg in the 1920s and 1960s. However, I haven't been able to get in contact with Kurt Bell yet, but I will. I do plan on doing that in the near future, so when I do, I will post an update on it, but until then, don't expect anything on that. Also, just a little PSA, if I do finish the Trainz, it'll be on Trainz 2019 most likely, but if I do finish it, I will not be able to distribute the route at all because it will still be based off of the fired up Trainz route. So unfortunately, to answer one of your questions, no, I won't be able to distribute the route unless I get explicit permission from fired up Trainz, but I would doubt that very much, seeing as how it's a route that he has worked very hard on, and obviously I don't want to take away from his well-deserved income. It's an amazing route, so I will not be able to do that. However, I will be posting more or less updates as I go along. So if you would like to create it yourself, you can kind of follow along with what I'm doing and create it for yourself. I promise Trainz content creation / modification really isn't difficult. If you've got the interest, which in this hobby you kind of have to have, if you've got the interest and you've got the time, honestly, it's really, really not difficult. You just got to go for it and just have fun. But anyway, moving on to other things I'll be doing with the channel. So I've been debating playing other games on the channel. Specifically, I play Sea of Thieves. That's one thing that I've been playing pretty a lot of in the last couple of weeks. I know, huge 180 from Trainz, shocker, but you know, pirates, what are you gonna do? I do want to play it on the channel. However, you know, it would be a big shift from Trainz, and I understand that. So I do want your guys, you know, opinions on whether you would like to see that or if you would not. I do play other games, but that is the main one that I've been playing for the last couple of months. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be switching from Trainz to Sea of Thieves. I will still be doing Trainz stuff, but I want to grow the channel a little bit. But I also, you know, want you guys to know that I don't just play Trainz. There are other things that I want to do, and I want to make the channel open to that idea. But I don't want to do anything without, you know, your input. You guys are more, you have more input into the channel than I do. That's the way I like to approach it. So the channel is for you guys. It's not for me. You know, if I wanted to, I could play whatever game I want, you know. But the channel is for you guys. It's for you guys to enjoy the videos. It's for you guys to, you know, possibly come here, learn something, have a laugh, you know, waste an hour, you know, that kind of a thing. It's meant for you guys. So you guys let me know what you would like to see on the channel. If you'd like to see me play other games, post it down below. Let me know what games you want me to play. I am more open to downloading games than you guys know. So let me know, and I will give it a go. But with that being said, I'm going to wrap up the video for today. So I hope you guys found this video informative. I know it's not the update that a lot of you were looking for. It's more of a rant than anything else, but that's pretty much all I got for you today. I will see you guys definitely within the next month. I will have a video uploaded, so I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching,